Hello everyone, my name is Małgorzata Kusyk and I will talk on how to build a high-performance virtual team. Before we move to the main topic, I would like to introduce myself. I have a degree in oceanography, but when I found out my energy cannot be locked in a laboratory, I decided to go to London to discover myself and to learn more useful skills. When I came back to Poland, I started working for Ericsson, where I found my first project and where I fell in love with project management. To be honest, I fell in love with working with people because projects are about people. I've been managing projects and programs for 15 years, have delivered more than 100 projects or programs. I'm project management professional and Prince 2 practitioner certified, and for 7 years I used to work for Thomson Reuters. For the last 2 years, I'm developing my own company that's an innovative project management office, Agile PMO, where I help companies to become more adaptable. As the first one in Poland and probably in the world as well, we are launching Transition Management Academy when we focus on not only on technical project management skills, but also on leadership and business and strategic skills. These three are a part of skill set employees are looking for in future project leaders, and it's called by PMI as PMI Talent Triangle. I'm Project Management Institute volunteer, acting as PMI Poland chapter president at the moment. I'm also involved in Lady Business Club as global expert. In my free time, I doodle, felt, or write a blog. So journey for today, we will start from a short introduction, then move to collaboration, trust, and virtual leadership. And in the end, I will give you some tips how to launch a great virtual team, and we'll share some real-life examples. So a lot of organizations create virtual teams with almost no understanding of the unique implication of that decision. They generally follow the same guidelines, the same rules as they use for co-located teams and hope for the best. And later on, they found out it doesn't work because virtual teams and co-located teams are like proverbial apples and oranges situation. They might have very similar shape. They might have a very similar size. They might look very similar, but we know they taste completely different. So 4 main problems we experience when we talked about virtual team performance, and some people might say all of these apply to co-located teams as well, and I agree, but the difference is for virtual environment, for dispersed team, you need to put more structure, you need to put more planning, you need to put more effort and time to clarify the goals and directions, to explain, communicate the roles and responsibilities, to cooperate, to build this collaborative environment, and to engage people. So what good looks like? Team composition. The size is very important. The smaller, the better. The length of working together. So the longer, the better. The function as well. When we come from the same function, it's much easier for us to work together. And the belonging to fewer teams. When we belong to fewer teams, we have enough time to make relationships, to build trust, and to collaborate in an effective way. Communication and training. That's face-to-face meetings. And I always encourage teams to have at least one, a kick-off face-to-face meeting, and very effective virtual meetings. Well-averaged technology and skill development, because virtual competences are as much important as technical skills. Leadership, styles and structures, and I will cover in later on in more details. So to achieve our goal, which is high-performing virtual team, we need to overcome a lot of challenges. And these challenges can be divided into givens, that's distance, time and technology, and creations, culture, trust and leadership. And the organization needs to leverage the givens through effective development of cultural and interpersonal competences. Technology is just one piece of a bigger puzzle, and to be honest, it's less important than the techniques virtual teams have developed to interact. And these are communication, group norms, appropriate virtual team leadership styles and structures, regular scheduled meetings, and occasional face-to-face meetings. So there is a gap, and we need to bridge this gap between finding the right people and working effectively as a global team. And this is getting to know each other, and it's critical to collaboration. So what is collaboration? Because we talk a lot about communication, but effective communication is just a tool to collaborate, to work together, to build a high-performing team. And collaboration, my definition of collaboration, is a kind of interaction between team members when they build a positive synergy where the team performance is greater than the sum of individual performances. So, 3 ingredients for collaboration, and they apply also for collocated teams. So, ownership of shared goals, and this requires intentional and effortful communication among team members. Relationships with a purpose. We are all in this together for a good reason. We believe in it. We all want to manage meaningful and purposeful projects. We always work much effective when we believe in what we do. And awareness that another success is my success is crucial. So for virtual environment, for virtual team collaboration, shared understanding and trust is crucial. And you can achieve it only through effective communication. Shared understanding, seeing a big picture. Trust. Trust is very crucial for every collaboration, but it's more difficult to build in a virtual environment. It takes more time. And relationships, getting to know each other, these are very crucial to achieve virtual collaboration. So trust is a substitute for control. It's like money. It takes years to earn and only minutes to lose. So trust, transactional trust, which is mutual in nature, so you need to give it to get it. It's created incrementally. That means step by step. It takes time. As I mentioned before, it takes even longer for virtual team. It can be divided into 3 types of trust. So contractual trust, that's setting direction. Trust of characters. So that's about establishing boundaries, managing expectations. We've already mentioned a team charter, rules and norms. We need to define them at the beginning and sign up, commit. And we need to be consistent. Once we define them, we need to follow them. It's about keeping agreements. What we do when people do not keep these agreements. Delegate appropriately, encouraging mutually seeking intentions. Communication trust, trust of disclosure. That means sharing information, telling the truth, admitting mistakes, giving and receiving constructive feedback, maintaining confidentiality, speaking with a good purpose, and competency trust, trust of capabilities, acknowledging people's skills and abilities, allowing people to make decisions, involving others and seeking their input, and helping people to learn new skills. Let's move to virtual leadership. Out of sight, foremost in mind, how do we manage people whom you don't see regularly? Micromanagement doesn't work for virtual teams. It will always add additional work. We've got new area coming. Knowledge area is fading, and this creativity, networking area is gaining ground. So we've got a new worker. We used to have knowledge worker. Now we have creative networking. And this creative work process requires autonomy and freedom. So, repeating, micromanagement will not work anymore. So what makes an effective virtual team leader? So these are also, we can apply them to co-located teams as well, as I mentioned. But virtual environment requires more structure, more planning. Emergency gathering will not work, will add frustration and chaos. So we need to structure them more. You need to have stronger leadership skills. You need to put more effort to this. You need to spend more time to this. It doesn't happen like in co-located environment that we are based in the same building, we are based in the same room. So we make these relationships, build trust, having coffee together, smoking together, having breaks together. So ability to effectively manage change, and that means envisioning change. You need to communicate in a way people understand you. You need to communicate meaningfully and inspiring. You need to build, show personal confidence. Building support for change is crucial, and implement change, including celebrating successes. Ability to foster atmosphere of collaboration. I've already mentioned relationships and trust. Very crucial for working in a dispersed team. Ability to communicate team goals and direction. Clearly communicate shared goals are crucial. And strong interpersonal communication skill. I will actually say again, very strong, because myself, people might feel isolated. And I felt it myself. I had a manager who was lacking interpersonal communication skills. So I was based on my own in Poland. So gossip didn't come to Poland. So I was not aware. People laughed at me that I didn't know that someone was leaving or something happened in the organization, because no one told me about it, and I felt really, really isolated. So Strong interpersonal communication skills is crucial in a leader. An ability to empower team members. So, delegating, giving freedom to take decisions. So, what do we need to do to make sure before we launch a virtual team, at the stage of forming a virtual team? So we need to remember about size, manageable size, up to 10 people. The smaller the better. Virtual team leaders. So virtual team leaders need to have both technical skills and virtual skills. The same apply for team members. They need to possess a mixture of virtual and technical competencies. If they don't have them, we need to make sure we teach them. We need to choose right communication technologies and need to remember that people can access them. And need to remember about generations as well. So make sure people know how to use the new technologies if we decide to implement them, to apply them to our working environment. And define how performance will be recognized and rewarded. The launch stage. Hold a great kick-off meeting, ideally the face-to-face meeting, during which you create a sense of purpose. We know we like managing, being a part of purposeful and meaningful projects. Clarify the team goals and roles. Define team role norms. Sign up the team charter. Define team development activities. Clarify team player style. That's very important when we define how we want to work together. We might have very formal styles, or we might have very informal styles. So we need to define it, clarify, so everyone is aware of it, and do something together. So a few examples. So create this team identity, build this branding, symbols, might be hats or t-shirts. Identity is very important for every team. Face-to-face substitute, use technology. It will help to build relationship, it will help to build trust. Sharing personal information. So that's an example from one of my team where we decided to have interviews with team members. They are very, very personal interviews, sharing personal information, and then we posted them on the hub so everyone from the team could read them. It helped in building relationships. Personal maps are quite useful, and you can download these and more other tools and techniques from Jürgen Appello. Management 3.0 workout is free to be downloaded. Facebook-like platforms. Emails are the worst communication channels. Of course, to summarize something, we use it, but use more interactive platforms. So social media, internal social media are useful here. Recognition is crucial. Even saying thank you will help to build motivation and engagement. Celebration, motivation. So use Blanchard's formula, heart. So celebration is heartfelt, should be enthusiastic, you should include all, you should recognize people, it should be timely. So do not wait for annual performance review, or even 2 times a year, it's not enough. You need to celebrate and recognize people more often. Define the roles and responsibilities and communicate them. That's crucial that we understand who is responsible for what. Build cultural, develop cultural awareness. If you cannot go to China and you've got team members in China, go to Chinese restaurant and try Chinese food. I used to bake Polish bread for my colleagues from UK. So to explain, to taste Poland. And globalization is a fact, whether you like it or not. Globally linked virtual teams will transform every government and company in the world. Any of our peers who don't do it won't survive. So great virtual teams, they commit and engage. They have shared process for decision making in place. They share right information to the right people. They build task-based trust, and they collaborate effectively. Some recommended books. And links. And thank you very much for your time.